You are now listening to the Pelicans post-game report. Flash Report.
All right, shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all for being in this episode of PPR Flash Report, PPR Update. We up in this state, Big Q, DC. News for you and yearns on this day, man. Of course, the Pelicans have made a move, and this was one we anticipated. The Pelicans are acquiring or trading, rather, Jose Alvarado to the Knicks for guard Dalen Terry and 2 second-round picks in cash, according to Shams. Now, he's a Brooklyn native who's headed back to his home, so they're sending Jose home. He averaged 8 points a game this season. And with the Pelicans, what we get from it is a guard, Dalen Terry. He's a two-guard, and 2 second-round picks in cash, right? So, and Terry was a guy on the move. He was originally acquired by the Knicks from the Bulls shortly before being rerouted to New Orleans. So there it is. So the 2 second-round picks being sent to New Orleans for Jose Alvarado in trade are for the years of 2026 this year and next year, 2027. Just to let you guys know. So that's second-round picks, according to multiple sources, for this year, second-round picks 2026 and 2027, as well as Dalen Terry. Now, to talk about who this guy is that we're receiving, I was doing some research, looking up some videos on him, and doing some some video scouting, and seeing that Dalen Terry, the high-energy wing player who impacts through his defense and playmaking. He's about 6'6". Sometimes he's listed as 6'7", has a 7'1" wingspan. He's a former first-round draft pick, 18 overall back in 2022. His offensive production has been modest. He's shown significant development in his outside shooting during the 25-26 season. Now, some of the scouting reports list him as in terms of what kind of play he is. He makes his impact on the defensive side. That's his strongest asset. Utilizes his length to disrupt the passing lanes. Some other perimeter players. He was an all-defensive selection at Arizona and has carried that high motor into the association. Now, he's has very good vision for a wing. He's a grab-and-go player in transition who can facilitate and find open teammates with creative passing. Now, his shooting historically is a weakness, but he's shown a leap this year, last year rather, in shooting a career-high 41.3% from three-point range in a limited volume, though. So this year, 25-26 season, he's shooting 41.3% in limited volume. Yeah, physicality, has good lateral quickness and good vertical pop, though he's wiry. He got a wiry frame at 210, and he can sometimes get pushed around by larger forwards. Now, as intangible, he's known as an ultimate hype man and high-energy glue guy, and he plays with a motor that never stops, often sparking runs through his defensive activity. So some of that sounds like Jose Alvarado, man, to be honest with you, but we'll see. So he was beginning to see an increased role during his injuries in Chicago, and in the final 4 games of January and February of 2026, he averaged 8 points, 4 rebounds, and 3.3 assists, while shooting nearly 55% from deep in that, and just when he started picking up some playing time in Chicago before they traded him. So he's a 23-year-old developmental wing who provides immediate defensive depth and has potential to become a reliable 3-and-D rotation piece if his recent shooting improvements are sustainable. So there you go for this player right here. And I think his contract is just over $3 million that they're grabbing and getting. So is this so much as Dalen Terry versus getting the second-round picks? The Pels wanted to get the picks as well. Jose Alvarado was on a player option. People believe he was going to opt to stay with the Pelicans next season. Joe Dumas and staff kind of said, we're not going to go for that, and ultimately electing to trade Jose Alvarado. That's what we got right now. There was no information on Jordan Hawkins, Kevon Looney, or anybody else that's supposed to be dangling in the trade hemisphere. So we'll keep up to the minute and monitor it. If we have anything else, we'll bounce back. DC, are you here? All right, DC, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Well, I don't think he's okay. Go ahead, DC. Go ahead and give your
Can you
breakdown,
hear me?
bro.
Yeah.
Loud and
First
clear.
off, shout out to Jose. Can you hear me? Hello.
Loud and clear.
Okay. So first off, man, shout out to Jose, man. A lot of great memories, man. Awesome player. I think just due to the circumstances of the way we going with the team, man, it was a necessary breakup, and you can give him a chance to be the type of player that can be impactful on the bench for a playoff team. That's kind of what Jose is, man. For us, a little bit of something extra that I really think just taken away from Jeremiah Fairs, and we possibly need to get another veteran guard in there that can actually handle facilitation better, man. For the future, we need a different style of player than Jose, man. So would have loved to keep him, love for him to end up as a Pelican forever, but things ain't work out that way. So thanks to him for all that he provided, man. And I'm not familiar with Dylan Terry, but your breakdown on him, man, does sound like something we can use. It sounds like another McGowan's kind of type player, man. This guy is known for his defense, shot is improving. Um, First round draft pick though, so that's interesting in 2022. Which I think that was a weak draft if I remember correctly. But interesting to see what he can provide, man. But those 2 seconds is really what we needed, and you get off of Jose's contract this year. Well, really won't matter this year because it's still gonna show on salary cap. But next year for 4.5 million, man, for somebody that I mean, you still gonna be playing DeJounte? Is DeJounte gonna be gone? What are we doing with Jordan Poole? Will he still be here? We kind of have a logjam at the guard position, even though we have horrible production. And DeJounte is scheduled to come back on February 20th. So, bearing any other news, I think we have within the next hour, you can pretty much take that to the bank that DeJounte is gonna be playing this year, and how you gonna play DeJounte, and you don't trade Jordan Poole. You still might as well play him, $30 million guy. Maybe you trade him in the offseason, but I think he could have played last game, a couple other games, and we probably would have won if he played. So I thought they had a trade lined up, but maybe not. But you got to play those guys, and what were you going to do with Jose? So necessary split, man. Glad we can get 2 seconds for him at least to try to get some of those picks back that we threw away on Devontae Graham. And didn't we trade a second on Kyra Lewis too, right? To get rid of him. So it feels better to be on the other side of it this time, trading the guy away, and you get some assets back. Not sure how this is going to reflect the impact the team. You think it would be a positive or a negative on the team, Big Q? Jose did take a pretty clutch shot last night that I really didn't understand how you drew up a play for Jose to get the ball. Well, I probably wasn't drew up for him, but him taking that shot. And I didn't like a lot of those big time moments where we had Jose taking those shots. Not that he can't hit them, but I don't think that's what we had with the development of this team. And we ain't playing that damn good to be entrusting everything in Jose, especially after Borrego had set him out for a long period of time. What do you think the impact on the team will be?
Uh, in terms of losing Jose Alvarado, man, he's a fan, absolute supporter favorite. We love Jose, man. That's DC's relative, so we are missing him, man. We will. It's going to be huge because he came up here in the culture of New Orleans. Najee Marshall was another guy we kind of left out. And you can see those guys moving on to what could be green. What I believe for Najee, greener pastures maybe for Jose, but he's going back. He's going home. So I mean that'll be interesting. He'll have some success there in New York because they're contending right now. New York really could use his services. Josh Hart will welcome him into the frame. He'll be one of those clutch, high energy players off the bench for the team when Brunson sits down. So it's a good move for New York because they're trying to get this thing now like we're supposed to be. But I can understand that the acquisition of getting the picks. We knew that they had to open up some room in that in hope. In terms of the point guard situation. DeJounte, a lot of this stuff, fam, this is just, I guess we just call it phase one of the renovation process. And phase two comes in the offseason when we get a coach. I can understand why, and I said this in previous broadcasts, why Joe Dumars and Troy Weaver are not trying to trade all of these people They're simply trying to kind of do what they can do in the interim before they find a head coach, so they can work together and move the team in the direction as they need to. And now when we get beyond the trade deadline, then the team can kind of lock in and just focus on trying to make a run with the remaining 30-odd games or whatever it is, man. So it is what it is, man. Shout out to Jose. Sorry to see him go, but like he said so himself, this is the business of basketball, and wherever you got to go, you got to hoop. We'll see what Dylan Terry. It's a good possibility that Dylan Terry might not even, step in and play for us. He might just be a guy they put in developmental league, or sit down on the side. We don't know. I think he's just a throwing player. I think this is the last year of his contract. If I'm not mistaken, with the agreement. But like I said, man, it's just more about the picks than it is about anything getting those 2 second-round picks in my estimation.
Well, Big Q, I think it might be a little bit more than that because this is a guy I think that came from Chicago, if I'm not mistaken, that they traded the other guy, Yanansba, or whatever his weird-ass name is, that we didn't want. So maybe they do see something. You would sell it. Maybe they do see something in him, or maybe it could have just been as simple as, the contracts. But one thing I can attest to, and you can as well, every time we pull a trade, Q, everybody's junk seems to be our treasure. They threw Sadiq Bey away, right? That was one of the good ones. But we also remember Josh Richardson. We didn't think he was going to come in and get major minutes. You saw that shit played out, right? You had, what's another guys, a few guys who just walked through here. Larry Nance was throwing, and we tried to start him at goddamn center. That man wasn't even no starting to say he was 6'7". Willie Green was playing him at center, man.
That's a little different, though. Do you see some of those guys, plug and play type guys?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, here with the Pelicans, man, if this dude can actually just hit open shots, you might get meaningful minutes for the rest of the game. By meaningful, I mean maybe 10 to 15 minutes. So you just never know.
All right, so that's all we got for y'all on this. What do y'all think? Put it in the comment section below. Let us know what you think about Dylan Terry coming to the team, the trade to send Jose Alvarado for the 2 second-round picks. And Terry, what do you think Terry's role would be with the Pelicans? Do you think he'll be at the end of the bench? Or do you think the Pelicans will give him an opportunity to kind of get some minutes? Y'all let us know in the comment section. With that being said, man, y'all, shout out to Jose, man. In the chat, Jose was a really good player for us. We love Jose Alvarado. We wish him nothing but success in New York, except when we play him. But shout out to Jose Alvarado, man. Much love and success as he's headed home to New York. So there he is. So with that being said, we out of here. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed, BigQDC, PPR update. We'll be back later on with more information. If the Pelicans make a move at the deadline, there's still some time left on the clock. We shall see. Much love. Peace. We're out.
Subscribe now and stay up to date for all things New Orleans